What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are now in season 8 of the Crew Motorfest, and that means we've got 6 seasons of prestige ticket items. These are exclusive summit rewards that have been earned since the game came out. There's a whole bunch of cars in here. In fact, there's 22 car options in there, and I know they're not the cheapest things to buy, especially if you don't have time to be grinding those prestige tickets. So with that said, this video is all about those prestige ticket cars. I want to tell you exactly which ones are worth it. So I'm doing a full tiers list of all of the prestige ticket cars. Now the vanities I'm going to leave alone because those are mostly just, subjective. They're basically vanity, right? It's your personal preference whether you like them or not. So let's get into the cars. Let's go. Now, this is a standard tier system, so S being the best. Those are the cars that are actually usable, viable, and in some cases meta in the grand races. And then the F is the bottom, and those are the cars you should never waste your prestige tickets on. Everything in between is a little bit like gray area, right? It's not like the best, it's also not the worst. They're kind of okay, and I'm basing all of this off of the performance of the car. We're not talking about the looks, I'm not talking about anything other than the performance. How does the car perform? How fast is it? So let's get into it. We're going to start with season 1. So for season 1, we've got 3 cars up for grabs, and I apologize on this video. I have no idea what these cars' actual value is in the prestige shop because I own all of these cars. So I can't see the actual cost of them, and that cost is not factored into the tiers at all. It's not like, oh, this car is great for how much it costs. No, it's just basic performance. Apologize, don't have the cost. Anyways, season 1, we've got the Kamehameha Edition S2000, the 4GT Airfoil Edition, and the Jaguar. So let's start with the worst of these 3 cars, and that is the Jaguar. You probably guessed that already. The Jaguar E-Type Roadster Temptation Edition is garbage. I'm gonna put this on the tier list at level D. It is a terrible performing car. You don't want to use it in Street 1. If you try to use it against any of the meta cars, or it's almost like it's not even usable. It's like just horrible. So anyways, let's move on to the next one, the 4GT Airfoil Edition. That one is actually a B. This car actually performs okay. It's very middle of the road. It has decent handling. It's got decent acceleration. It tends to lose the back end just a little bit sometimes. And so I couldn't really put it in like the A or the S category, but it's okay. We're going to give it a B. For the S2000 Kamehameha Edition, we're giving it an A. This is a car that's actually viable in the grand races. It's actually not too bad. It gutters really well. It's decently fast. It could use maybe a little bit more power, but for the most part, it handles good, it gutters good, and it's decent. You can use this in the grand races 100%. Moving on to season 2. Season 2, we've got the Magma Edition Devo, the Hoonigan Camaro, and the Hoonigan Evo. So let's start out with the Hoonigan Evo. I'm giving this a rating of C. It's right in the middle. It's fine. But in the same exact season that they released this car, they also released the Hoonicorn, which is a complete monster in drift. So in terms of grand races and performance, this car is whatever. It's just there. You can use it, I guess, but it's definitely not going to keep up with the Hoonicorn. Let's move on to the Camaro. The Camaro is a B. Again, pretty good. It actually handles fairly well. It's got good power, but it's just not like the best in the class. When this car came out, it was pretty usable. It wasn't like, one of those cars that you just have to use in the grand races. It wasn't a meta, but it actually is pretty usable. Now, if we move on to the Devo is an E. It is terrible. It's god-awful. I put it almost at the bottom of the list. It understeers like crazy. It doesn't have a very good top speed. It is just garbage. Now, if you like the look of it, obviously, you're going to pick it up. But in terms of performance, it's an E. Let's move on to season 3. Season 3, we got 4 choices for you, and the worst of the bunch, and honestly, one of the worst cars on this list, it's an F for the 370Z Nismo Dominion Edition. This car is god-awful, man. It is just terrible to drive. Don't use it. It's horrible. And there's way better cars out there. But the next one is actually one of the most popular cars, and you guys might already have this. That's the Black Panther Skyline, the R34 Black Panther Edition. This thing is actually really good. It's very fast, and so I give it an A. It is not a meta car, but it is certainly viable in the grand races. This is one that you probably should buy here on this list. Moving on to the Zenvo. This is the Zenvo Shmi edition. The Shmi edition is okay. However, it's not quite as good as the R34. Now, they're in different classes. The Zenvo is actually in Hyper and the R34 is in Street 2. But in their respective classes, in Hyper, the Shmi Zenvo is just okay. You can use it, but it's not going to win you any races by itself. Moving on to the Asus Stealth Edition. If it wasn't for that Devo Magma Edition, I think this might be the worst hypercar on the list. It's just not very good at all when it comes to performance. It gets an E for this rating. Let's move up to Season 4. For Season 4, you've got a couple of choices and some decent ones here. Let's start with the Impala. The Chevy Impala American Custom Edition is a D. It has decent power and it kind of has okay top speed, but it's not going to win you races. It's just not very competitive at all, so it's going down in the D section. Now we've got the KRC Japan S14. This thing's actually really good. It's sort of underrated for grand racing, so I'm going to give this one an A. You can use this 100%. Is it going to be part of the meta? Not really, but it's viable in Street 1. So hats off to the KRC Japan S14. Now, the next car is actually part of the meta, and that is the Porsche Taycan Thunder Edition. Believe it or not, this is a meta car for Street Tier 2. Now, you're not going to be able to use this every single time. It's a very specific, sort of route-specific car. You have to use it when you have like very technical, gutter-heavy routes at the beginning of the race. So if it's a Street 2 section where you have lots of gutters, it's going to be a Taycan route, and this Thunder Edition is the one you want to use. Now, both the Taycan and the Thunder Edition perform very similarly, but this one's slightly better. Just make sure when you do buy this, because it is an S tier car, just make sure you adjust your final drive down to -8. That is the current meta for this car, so make sure you're doing that. The last one of this category is called the Dodge Charger Husk Edition. The Husk Edition is just all right, very middle of the road. It gets a C from me. All right, moving into Season 5. Season 5 was just added with this Season 8 update, along with Season 6. We'll get to that in a minute. But we've got 4 choices for you here. Let's start off with the Creators KS Death Racer Edition. This is getting an F. The car handles so badly. It's got the like destruction type stuff, physics going on with it. I hate it. It's absolutely terrible. Is it fast? Kind of, but it just handles so badly that it's almost unusable for most people. So that one gets an F. All right, moving on to the Rimac Nevera Time Attack Edition. This one's okay. It's an electric car, so it's got decent acceleration. It actually has okay handling. It's not a car that's going to be super good in the grand races, but it's not bad either. I give the Rimac a B for this one. So it's usable. It's not terrible. It's also like slightly above average for hypercar. Definitely worth a buy if you've got the extra tickets. Now moving on to the only one that you absolutely should buy here from Season 5, and that's the Noble Lunar Year Edition. This car handles great. It's got good acceleration, good top speed. It is a very nice car to drive. Now, is it going to be meta? No. So it's going to get an A from me, but it is worth buying. It is a good car. It's certainly viable in the grand races, and you definitely should get that one. Now, moving on to the Bugatti Barchetta Velvet Edition, I give this car a B. This car is definitely okay. It handles all right. It understeers quite a bit, like every other Bugatti. It's a big fat pig, but it does okay. Like, it has good power, and you can use it on certain routes. I really can't put this any higher than a B just because it does understeer a little bit too much, but it's kind of good for like off-road cuts and things like that. So, you know, it is what it is. It gets a B. Finally, let's move on to Season 6. So Season 6, again, has 4 vehicles for you to choose. And we're going to start with the Ford F-150 monster truck, the Red Bull Edition. This thing is actually okay. It grips up a little bit better than the Silverado, but it just doesn't have the power of the Silverado. So in that respect, it's going to get a C. I guess you could use it, but it's not really anything special. It's sort of middle of the road. A lot of other monster trucks can also do that. The suspension is very, very loose, and I think that's why it gets a little bit more grip. Moving on to the plane, this is the SC330 Plane Red Bull Edition. This thing's a complete dog. It's an F for me. Now, I don't know all of the plane leaderboards. Like, I don't know what... I know the P51 Mustang is going to be the fastest plane for grand racing, but outside of that, there's not really a lot of competition, and I haven't really ranked all the planes. The reason this is an F is because it was a Summit Contest reward, and it's slower than the regular SC330. So the special edition is worse, and it's worse by a lot. So I just really wouldn't even touch this. It's not really worth it. And I don't know that many of you guys were actually thinking about it in the first place. Let's move on to the Ford Fiesta Red Bull Edition. This is an A. It's actually a decent car. It's not super fast, but it actually does pretty well. The one problem that it has is that it actually gets stuck in like second and third gear. If you hit a wall too hard, something happens. Like the transmission just falls out of the car and it makes you drive backwards or gets you stuck in a gear. It's just super weird. Doesn't happen a lot, but if you're on a route where you have like a lot of hairpins and you have to slam into the wall, this car is just so god awful to use. But outside of that, if you don't have those on the route, the car's fast and you can use it. It is really close. It is super viable in the grand races outside of that scenario that I just talked about. But I definitely recommend buying it if you've got the tickets. And finally, the Mazda RX-7 Red Fury Edition. This is an absolute S, man. This car is super good in Street 2. It is very oversteery, and I know not everyone's gonna like that handling model, but what is possible with this car is near meta performance. It is right there. It is super viable in the grand races as long as you've got the skills to control it. And if you don't, okay, maybe it's time to practice a little bit more because the car has a lot of potential in it. It's just a high skill ceiling and it just needs to be controlled. And once you control it, the speeds that you can keep, the pace that you can have with that car is extremely good. So it earns its spot in the S category. Here is the full tier list for you. Take a look at it and screenshot it. I'm probably going to be putting this up on the website or maybe my leaderboard spreadsheet or something like that. I'm not sure, but I'll make sure I'll put a link in the description if you need to have this image for something else. As each season comes out, I'm going to try to update this particular image so we always have a full tier list of all the prestige ticket items. All right. Hopefully this has helped, man. I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.